2 days ago, Elliotte Friedman released another article on the 31 Thoughts series, and this is something that a lot of people in Vancouver Canuckland have been bringing up because of a few of the topics mentioned here. Now, I'd like to apologize, first and foremost. I didn't upload a video yesterday. I've been so busy. I finally got my N after doing the test a few times. It sucked, but whatever, I can drive now. I also had a consultation and a few projects due later in the week. I'm not even supposed to be recording, I'm supposed to be doing homework right now, but let's talk about Jacob Markstrom. Now, this is all from the number 4 thought from this edition of 31 Thoughts. It talks about Vancouver and Jacob Markstrom and how there haven't really been any extension talks yet between the two parties. Friedman says he's curious to see how long the Canucks will wait. Markstrom's got 1 year left at $36 million, and it is a good time to be a talented goalie with freedom in your future. Another expansion team thins out depth at the position, and if Mikko Koskinen is worth 4.5, what's Markstrom's number? He can't officially be signed until July 1st, but you can talk. If the Vancouver Canucks are confident in his rise, and they know him better than anyone, they should go for it. The number rarely goes down. And because of this, and a few other discussions that I've seen online, it's been talked about on TSN, it's been talked about on Sportsnet 650, people are talking about it on Twitter. Jacob Markstrom, what is the future? What does the goalie tandem look like? What is the contract for Markey going forward? Now, looking at things this season, Markstrom is making 3.6. Yes, that is true. Markstrom has been making 3.6 for a while now, but this season has been his best season by far. Just taking a look at the performance, not the numbers. Now, the numbers, they're kind of similar, I'll admit that, but scoring has gone up in the NHL, and Jacob Markstrom is legitimately a number 1 goaltender now. He is solid, not letting in all those weak goals. He's consistent, stays on top of his game. He's not the same Markstrom from before. And from December up until now, Jacob Markstrom has really changed into a better player, which is why the contract talks kind of get a little bit interesting here. Now, the 31 thought here mentions Mikko Koskinen, and I think we all know the context about that. Koskinen came in, Peter Chiarelli was like, I'm Peter Chiarelli and I'm going to do this here. And he gave him that $4.5 million contract to a goalie that was not worth $4.5 million then and is not worth $4.5 million now at all. Really, it's kind of frustrating to look at, but for the Vancouver Canucks taking a look at this, Jacob Markstrom's in a weird position because we have 2 other goalies who could potentially be NHL quality players. Thatcher Demko is already that, technically speaking, and DiPietro, well, he did have 1 game. Let's forget that. DiPietro is on pace to becoming one of those 2. So going forward into the future, everyone's kind of thinking, okay, what's going to happen? Markstrom and Demko play it out, and then DiPietro comes up eventually, and Demko takes over the number 1. How long does that take? How much does Markstrom stick around? And how much is he worth? In my opinion, if you had to ask me, I agree with the seemingly common view. I think it's common, I'm not too sure, but I've seen this a lot. Keep Markstrom for like 2 or 3 years or something like that. Give him money because, hey, the guy's probably deserved whatever contract he goes for. I mean, having a good goalie is not bad, but at the same time, the money is kind of a stretch because Markstrom's only been good now. And if history does roll true, we can take a look at this and be like, okay, Markstrom might not become super good next year, but it's not like Markstrom was ever terrible. So going upwards of like a 4.5-ish kind of contract, maybe going up high as $5 million, I don't see a problem with that, especially if we go short term. Now, the term is the thing that matters here because the term will determine how long we have to get guys like Demko and DiPietro transitioning into the NHL. The money is fine in my opinion, because we don't have an immediate need for money. Hughes and Pettersson and our 2019 first rounder, these guys are going to get signed later, foreseeably by the time a short-term deal with Markstrom ends. And obviously we do have other players on the team that should be coming to ends quickly too, and despite that we still have the ability to trade people. But to me, the money isn't necessarily an issue unless we're going after like a Carlson, Panarin, or whatever. I don't think that's happening, but if it does, then hey, the money is kinda concerning there. I really don't think it would be a smart idea to get rid of Markstrom now, either to free agency or trading him away, and putting Demko into that number 1 role, because a Demko and DiPietro pairing isn't something that I could foresee being successful until like 2024, 2025. DiPietro's going to need some time, and Demko, despite being a rookie already, to me, he's not somebody who I can confidently sit down and say, yes, he is a number one at this moment. And Jacob Markstrom, as a number one, he's going to get you assets, but at the same time, he's going to get you assets because number ones are hard to find. Does that kind of make sense? I don't know, I just don't really see the point in getting rid of Markstrom, and overall, he's an asset that I would certainly like to keep as a development tool for Demko and DiPietro, and a guy who could stabilize our defensive end. Because Markstrom is good, and if he stays along this path, he'll be amazing. If he strays off a little bit and becomes a little bit of the Markstrom of last year, 2 years ago, sure, he lets in a few goals here and there that are really weak, then so be it, man. I don't think we're really pressed for money right now, and you can never have too many good goalies. I just don't see the point in trading him at this point, and if it happens in a few years, then sure, that's okay, fair game, but right now, I don't think this is the conversation we need to be having. Hope you guys enjoyed. This video was your Pleasant Strolls 9 Gaming, and bye.